Hello everyone, welcome to the Archipelago live stream. My name's Liam, I'm one of the developers here at Archipelago where we create Lightroom presets and creative profiles for photographers. And today we're going to take a look at the upcoming Archipelago Halite presets. Very excited to showcase these to you today. So Halite was developed by Richard McDowell and it's inspired by the abundant beauty of the Salt Flats landscape. And you'll see when we get into the editing, the tonality and the texture of the presets, it does an amazing job of kind of giving that vibe that you get from the Salt Flats. So very excited to get into the editing and show these presets to you today. I can see we've got a few familiar names on here as well, and some people that haven't been on for a while have joined, which is amazing. Angie's on from New Zealand. Welcome, Angie. Lots of familiar names. Juniper's on. Very good stuff. Corey's on. Very exciting. So we'll take a look at the images in a moment, but like I said, it's all about Halite for this. We've also got something in addition towards the end of the stream as well for you Quest subscribers. So we're going to take a little bit of a sneak peek at something that's coming up that Chris has been working on in the Quest lab, which I'm very excited to share with you as well. So let me know if this is the first stream. I can see Daniel's on here, says first stream, a new Quest member. That's very exciting, Daniel. So a little bit about Halite. Halite is going to be released on archipelagopresets.com. So it's an Archipelago collection of presets, and it will be priced at the regular price of $98. But very excitingly, we've decided to release it to our Quest subscribers as December's preset collection. So our Quest subscribers pay $8 each month to be a member, and members get to download that current month's preset collection that we release on the first of each month for free as part of their membership. And this time around, instead of doing a Quest set for December, we thought, why don't we give a full Archipelago set? So you're going to get that as part of your Quest subscription rather than the regular price of $98. But not only that, you're going to get it 2 weeks before we release it on archipelagopresets.com. So you're going to get it early and you're going to get it for free as part of your Quest subscription, which is incredibly excited. We just wanted to give you something a bit special for December as a big thank you for being a Quest member. So for those that have been there for a while and have amassed a big collection of presets, and for those that are new like Daniel, very exciting month to be part of the Quest membership. So yeah, like I said, you're going to get it early. You're going to get it for the Quest subscription. So you're going to get it for free if you pay the $8 per month to be a Quest member. So if you're not already on Quest, you need to get on there ASAP. This current month's Quest set is Quest 21 Wayfarer SE. So if you're not signed up, if you get signed up today, you can download Quest 21 Wayfarer SE immediately, start using that straight away. And then on the 1st of December, you're going to be able to get Archipelago Halite, which is absolutely incredible. I'm so excited for you to get your hands on these presets. They're absolutely amazing. I know a couple of people won some in a stream that I did a couple of weeks ago, and their edits have been amazing. The feedback's been amazing. So very excited for people to get their hands on it. And with that in mind, we're going to give away a pre-release copy of Archipelago Halite on this stream as well. So if you are tuned in, all you need to do is be here live, interact in the chat as we go through the stream, and we'll be picking someone towards the end of the stream to get an early pre-release copy of Archipelago Halite. So it's great that there's so many people here. I can see lots and lots of names on. So thank you. Welcome. Another new member there as well, Aspara. Thank you. Nice. First stream Quest since the beginning. That's what we like to see. You've got so many amazing sets as part of Quest. So if you are a Quest member, the other benefits that you get as well is you get to download any previously released sets. You can purchase those from the archive store. So if you join in now, you can actually jump into the archive store and you can look at all of the previously released sets and you can purchase them. They're at a special member price. A lot of those presets are only available through there. There's only a handful of those available on archipelagopresets.com, but a lot of them are exclusive there. And the pricing is exclusive to members as well, so you get access to that. And not only that, you get a discount code all year round. So Quest members get 30% off the regular Archipelago presets all year round. But of course, right now we have our Black Friday sale on. If you haven't seen already, so we've got up to 40% off using Black Friday 40 code. That's going to be ending this evening. So you've got a matter of hours left to take advantage if you haven't already. But what we thought is, because Quest members get 30% all year round anyway, we thought we'd just give them an extra 10% on top of the normal sale price. So Quest members are getting 50% off Archipelago presets. You'll find a code on the Quest members homepage that will give you 50%. That's the most we've ever done as a discount off the Archipelago presets. And again, that sale is ending today, so you've got a matter of hours to take advantage of that. So don't go anywhere yet. Obviously, stick around for the stream, and then after, if you haven't taken advantage of the sale, make sure you jump on and do that. So we'll get on with the editing shortly. Thank you so much for jumping in and saying hello. Mitra's on. That's amazing. Hello, Mitra. I can see Mary's on. Mary was first on, actually. Super early bird. Thank you, Mary. We always like an early bird. Mitra says, that's amazing, Liam. What a great gift. Yeah, that's what we thought. We're very, very excited for you to get hold of this. So we've got these incredible images that you see here. We've got 8 photos we're going to be editing with the Halite presets. As we dive in and start editing, as usual, if you've been on the stream before, you'll see the photographer's name at the top left of each image, along with the EXIF data if you want to know how they captured it, what lens they used, all that kind of good stuff. And the first image here is from Corey, who is in the chat, I can see. Absolutely gorgeous photo. So we're going to edit this one first. I'll show you the presets. I'll talk through the set, what you get as part of it, all that kind of good stuff. And then from there, we'll go through the rest of the images. What I like to do is find out which image you'd like to see edited next. So if you see the number in the top left of the thumbnail there, just let me know which image you want to see edited next. I'll kind of go through them in the order that you want to see. Obviously, we'll do all 8 anyway, so you can get a good idea of what these presets can do in different scenarios, different file types, different lighting scenarios, different all sorts. So we'll go through all of them, but let me know what you want to see in what order. But we'll do the first image first, and I'll kind of talk through the presets. If you get any questions as we go through, definitely just ask them in the chat. If it's something I can answer on the live stream, if I catch it in the chat, I'll absolutely do that. If not, we've got Lauren in there, Chris is on, Richard's on. There's plenty of the team around who can answer those questions as well. So do throw those in if you have any questions. Let me know what you think to the presets as we go through. If you have any general sort of questions about editing, post-production, Lightroom, all that kind of stuff, feel free to ask those as well. It doesn't just have to be about the Halite presets. So like I said, these are Archipelago presets. So if you've been a Quest subscriber for a while, you might have got a big long list of Archipelago Quest presets like I've got here, 1 through to 21, and some Quest tools as well. But what you're going to do is you're going to find Halite up here in the Archipelago section. So they're in separate sections. So you'll find Archipelago Halite in the top section here because it's an Archipelago preset. So if I go ahead and open this up, you can see we've got 6 presets, and 4 of those are color, 2 are black and white. Each preset has an AI mask built in. So when you apply the preset, it will automatically apply a mask to the subject and to the background separately. So with one click, you're gonna get an incredible transformation of the image. And of course, you can go in and dial those masks separately as well. You also get 3 creative profiles and 3 tools as well that use the masking functionality. So there's 2 that affect the sky, and then 1 of them that adds dust and scratches to the image as a nice sort of finishing touch to your photos. So yeah, we'll go through, I'll show you the presets. We'll kind of go through the set. I know a few people that have thrown some numbers in already of what images they want to see. I think 5 came up and I think 3 came up. So we'll do 5 and then 3. But let me know as we go through the rest of the stream what you'd like to see. All right, so first image here from Corey, absolutely gorgeous photo. I love the styling in this. So this was shot on a 70 to 200 mil at the 70 mil range, and f2.8, lovely amount of compression here. I love the styling, really, really nice image. And there's not a lot that needs to be done to get going. Usually we recommend setting your exposure and your white balance before you start to edit, but this is looking pretty much bang on from the get-go. So let me just go ahead and show you each of the presets. So starting off with Halite 1. So as with any of the presets that have AI masks built in, what you'll find is when you first hover over a preset or apply it, it's going to take a split second to figure out where the subject is, where the background is, all that kind of stuff. So you might have seen there, it just takes a second for it to render the masks. But once it's done it once on that image, you can then move through the rest of the presets and it won't need to re-render that. It'll know then where the subject and the background is. So that's without, and that is with Halite 1. So an amazing transformation. Like I say, the tonality and the texture of these presets definitely gives that salt flats vibe. I absolutely love it. So Halite 1, Halite 2. Love the difference between those. So you got something that's a little bit less contrasty, slightly more cooler toned. And then as we move to Halite 2, you get that boost in contrast, a little bit more warmth there as well. Halite 3, super nice. And then Halite 4, which I think is my favorite in the color presets in this set. Halite 4, I've been throwing on just about everything. And then we've got the black and whites. And I have to say that Halite 5 has become my favorite black and white full stop. And then you've also got Halite 6, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous black and white as well. You can see there's a lot of mood to that one, a lot of depth to the image. So back through those, Halite 1, Halite 2, Halite 3, 4, 5, and 6. Absolutely stunning. So for this, I think it's got to be Halite 4 just because it's my favorite. And I like what it's doing with the greens. Obviously, we've got this the car here, which is this nice green color. And I just like what it's doing with the greens, adding a nice push of warmth. And I also love what it's done with the sky, sort of the color tone, but also how it's brought the luminance of the sky down a little bit as well. So Halite 4. So with Halite 4, you got the Halite S profile set to 100 as default. Now, if I back this off, you can see it's going to reduce that contrast. It's going to pull some of the warmth out, give a bit more of a cooler toned image. And obviously, if I increase it, it's going to add more of that contrast and push into that warm tonality. So again, lots and lots of flexibility. There's a lot of variety in the presets themselves, but then with the creative profile, you've got tons of flexibility. So for this, I quite like a little bit of an extra push in the profile. So I'm going to go to 121, 122. That's looking really good. And then I'll show you a couple of other tools that we've got. Let me show you quickly in the mask. You can see we've got a subject and a background mask there applied as default as part of the preset. But you can jump into these and you could go ahead and change the amounts and you can see how that affects the image. I'm really happy with this from the one click. So I'm going to leave the masks as they are, but just so you can see what's happening there. And then we have the Himalayan pink halite skies and the Persian blue halite skies. And these are amazing. So these are tools that affect only the sky of your image. So just to point out, if you have a photo that doesn't have a sky in it, let's say it's a studio shoot, something like that, these may not work. Obviously, they're designed to work on the sky, but I know a couple of people in the past with like the AI tool set have commented when a particular AI tool hasn't worked, but obviously it's looking for a particular thing in your image. And in this case, it's looking for the sky. So if you are shooting studio, it may see the background as the sky potentially, but if it gives you an error, chances are it's not seeing a sky. It's expecting there to be a sky. But if I go ahead and hover over the Himalayan pink halite sky, you can see how it shifts the tonality away from this sort of muted blue that we get as default as part of the Halite 4 preset. And it's going to add that nice pink hue. And of course, because we have the amount slider now, we can decrease and increase that. So really nice if you want that really rich pink tonality in your sky, if you've got a sunset, something like that. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to undo that. And then the other one we have, which is, I absolutely love this. I've been using this on a lot. This is called Persian Blue Halite Sky. And you can see, obviously with this preset, it desaturates the blue in the sky quite a bit, but you can actually bring that back with the Persian Blue Halite Skies. And I love the color tone that it brings into the sky there. So this is it at default. And again, you can decrease, increase. So I'm going to go for something relatively subtle. I think somewhere around there, 77. I think that looks gorgeous, suits this image really well. We've got the warm toning in the skin and in the light that's hitting the subject. We've got the greens in the car and then that nice blue, complementary blue color in the sky. So I absolutely love that. And then the last tool, actually I'll show you before I jump into the last tool. Let me show you this grain, because the grain in this set is so nice. It has a really nice rough texture, and this texture definitely has that sort of like crystalline salt kind of vibe to it. So I really, really love the grain in this set. Of course, if you don't want the grain on, jump into the details panel, the effects panel, and you can dial the grain, either turn it off completely or you can increase or decrease it. But I love the default grain. I love the amount of sort of texture and roughness that it adds to the image. But let me show you this last tool, which is called Halite Finish, the white Halite Finish. And if I hover over that, you're going to see it's going to add those dust and scratches to the image. So again, if I zoom in on the sky here, so you can see that's with and that's without. So it adds that really nice finishing touch, get those really gorgeous scratches and little marks of dust on there. If we go ahead and zoom back out, you can see how that affects the image. Really, really nice. And that's obviously just using the mask. So it's just going to add the dust and scratches layer just here. So if you find that any of those, you really like having it on your image, but any of them maybe overlap a key part of the image, or they're over the subject's eye or something that's distracting, you can simply jump into the actual mask layer here, go to subtract, and then go to brush and just brush out the part that you don't want. But I think this looks super nice in this image. You can also move it as well. If you just select it here, you can go ahead and move this around if you wanted to. So if you like it, but you just need it to be a little bit, moved across, you can just do that by selecting it and moving it around. So absolutely amazing. Again, lots of nice tools and options within this preset collection that's going to give a lot of versatility across a big diverse range of images. But that's Halite 4 with the Halite S profile increased. And then we've used the Persian blue skies and then the dust and scratches to finish. So here's the before and here's after. And I'll show you the side by side there as well. Oof, the black and whites. Yes, the black and whites are very, very nice in this set. Such classic black and whites, says Lauren. Good for everything. Yes, I agree. Her eyes are popping with force, says Mary. Yes, I'll go ahead and zoom in, show you the detail there. This is the color tonality, your skin tones. I love the texture of the grain. There's a nice little scratch coming across here as well. Super nice. And of course, gorgeous photo by Corey. What a stunning before and after, says Lauren. Thank you very much. Sarah says, ore on weddings is fire. Yes, it is. I concur. Ore is amazing for weddings. Great transformation, says Sean. Great set for editorial work. Yes, I agree, Mitra. Really good. All right, first image done. Let's go ahead and jump in. We'll edit a couple more photos. I know people selected, I think it was 5 and then 3. I didn't see if there's any other selections after, but if you think of any images you want to see after that, let me know. But let's do 5 first, this one over here. So this one here from Shay, we've got this gorgeous scene up in the mountains, helicopter down here, the snow. I love the light as well. Really beautiful photo. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the exposure a little bit. And I think the white balance is looking pretty good. I don't want to warm it up too much. Somewhere around there looks good. Let's take a look. Halite 1. Really nice. Look at that. That's a gorgeous transformation. I love how it brings the detail out in the rocks down here as well. Halite 2. Halite 3, a little bit more muted. Halite 4. And then the black and white, Halite 5 and 6. We'll give 6 a second to render. The sky, that looks super moody. So 5 is more of a neutral black and white, very classic looking. 6 is very moody. It kind of really brings the exposure down in the sky in the background. I think if we go for color, I'm going to go 1, just because it's the preset is a little bit cooler, and I think that suits this. Obviously, being the snowy landscape, I think that looks really nice. So again, this is before, and this is after with Halite 1. This uses the Halite profile. So if I drag that to the left, you can see what that does to the image versus to the right. So let's see. I don't want to go super punchy and warm, so I'm going to increase it a little bit, again about 122, so just a tiny little increase from the default. Looking lovely. Let's take a look at the pink Halite skies. Very nice. I think for this, the cool toning is what's calling to me, so I would definitely go Persian blue Halite skies again. Just going to bring that down a little bit so it's very, very subtle. And I probably wouldn't use the dust and scratches on this, but it does look nice. But I'm going to leave it, I think, like that. So here we go. This is before. And this is after, and that's with Halite 1. Increase the profile just a little bit. We've used the Persian blue Halite skies, and we've got that gorgeous before and after. Again, if we wanted to, we can go into the options in here. So if you want to go in and dial the background, you can go up and down. So you can go for something a little bit softer by increasing the background mask and the subject mask. You could also play around with that as well. So again, lots of versatility. Here's the side-by-side comparison. Such a simple edit. It's not taking much work at all, but definitely a nice transformation from before and after. If I just bring the exposure back down a tiny little bit, that's looking good to me. There we go, gorgeous. Really, really nice edit. Love this photo. I think this will be my favorite set you guys have released. That's amazing news, Brianna, thank you. I'm dying to see number 2 edited. All right, we'll get number 2 edited after we've done 3, which is the next one. I think 6 has been picked by Mitra as well. I thought the next Quest preset was going to have a snowy layover. Hold your horses, Lisa. Hold your horses. We might have something to share later on. Don't get ahead of the game. Decrease the grain on the 5th picture just so I can see. If you've got a chance after you've edited all the images. Yeah, let's do it now. We can do it now. It's fine. We're on the 5th picture now. Let's do it. So if I just bring the grain down, if I bring it down to 0, I go ahead and zoom in, look. So if I undo, that's with the grain, that's without. It's super simple to add or remove or just dial it up and down. Obviously, just in the effects panel, you can just grab the grain amount. Of course, you can change the size and the roughness and all that kind of stuff if you want to as well. But if you want to go for something a little bit more subtle, you can just bring it down somewhere around about 12 or 20, just adds a little bit of texture without it being too much. So sometimes it's nice to have a little tiny bit rather than it being incredibly clean. But of course, if you want a clean edit, you can just bring it all the way down to 0. But yeah, I think for this, if you want that kind of clean vibe but still with a bit of texture, maybe somewhere around 17, it's a good amount. But there we go. So that's that one. Everybody stay calm, says Chris. Yes, stay calm. Stay calm. All right, so image number 3, I think, was picked next. 2 was also picked, 6 was picked. Let's go through it in that order. Image number 3, this one from Adita. I love this photo, really nice editorial vibe. I love the styling, I love the composition. It's such a nice photo, the colors as well, really, really nice. So in terms of the white balance, I think it's looking pretty good. It's a bit of a tough one to say, maybe a little bit of an increase in the warmth. And I would expect when I apply the preset, it's probably going to overexpose because there's not a lot of dark tonality in the image, not a lot of shadow or deep blacks. So there is a chance that when I apply the preset, it could overexpose. I might need to pull the exposure back. But what I'm going to do is have a look at the presets first, and then I'll know if I need to do that. So Halite 1, give it a second to render. There we go. That's before and after. So yep, as suspected. You'll find this with images that don't have a really big dynamic range. Like if you look up here, you can see most of the data's fallen in the highlights. You will find that it will render a little bit differently. So it might not necessarily be overexposed. This is actually a pretty much bang on exposure. But you might find that the presets make the image overexposed, and vice versa. If you've got an image that is overwhelmingly dark and you apply a preset, it couldn't become too dark and you have to bring it up quite a bit. And that's just the nature of the beast. Obviously, when you apply a preset, it's figuring out where the blacks, the shadows, the highlights, the whites are. So you will find that with certain images, certain subject matter, that kind of thing, certain lighting, it's going to swing one way or the other. So for this, we definitely need to pull it back a little bit. So I'm going to go somewhere around there, and then we'll take a look at Halite 1. And that's looking pretty much bang on. So if we take a look before and after, so that's without any exposure adjustment and without the preset. And that's with the preset and just bringing the exposure back down a little bit. So that's Halite 1, Halite 2, Halite 3, 4, and then the black and whites 5 and 6. Now, if I was going black and white, absolutely Halite 6 would be the one. I love the way it's bringing the exposure down in the sky. You get this nice darkening here. I would bring the overall exposure down, lean into that moody vibe. We've got the Halite black and white profile, so we can either go for something a little bit cleaner by drawing it to the left, or go for something with that sort of crushed kind of shadow look, something very vintage. And I think that looks really nice on this. I'm not going to go too high, but maybe somewhere around about there, just for that nice amount of sort of grittiness. Let's go into the masks for the background. Yeah, I'm going to accentuate that quite a bit. I'm going to go up a little bit on the background just to bring that down. And the subjects, I'm going to back that off just a tiny bit. I think somewhere around there looks good. All right, so there's before and after, and that's with Halite 6. Really, really nice look to this. Let me go ahead. Yeah, I'd probably, if I was going to use the profile corrections, I'd just use it for distortion. I'd just bring the vignette back in because I think the natural vignette from the lens looks really good. I love how it's darkening the top and bottom of the frame. So I'll probably just do that manually, but just correct the distortion. So that's looking super nice. And I would 100% use the dust and scratches, just really lean into that look. Maybe just back that off a little bit so it's a little bit more subtle, have it sort of sitting in the grain here, so it kind of just blends into the image rather than being super obvious. So just use the amount slider to bring that back to 27. So that will be my edit with black and white, which I think suits this really well. There's a side by side. Juniper says the black and white cranked is beautiful. Yes, I absolutely agree. Juniper also says leaning towards 4. Brianna agrees, loving 4. So if we did a color edit, I agree. I think the greens of 4 look really nice, and that's quite a prominent color in this image. So this is with Halite 4. I would maybe just bring up the exposure a little bit, probably somewhere around about there. Let's have a look at the profile. Yeah, I'd probably back the profile off a little bit as well, just to reintroduce a little bit of the cooler toning into the image. And then I would use the Persian blue skies, but again, nothing too drastic. I bring it down to about there, 51. So that'll be my color edit. There's before, there's after. That's with Halite 4. Back to the profile off a little bit to give us a little bit of a less contrasty look with a bit more of the cool toning, and then Persian blue Halite skies. And of course, we've still got the white finish in the background there as well. So again, there's a side by side. Love the grain. I'm a massive fan of grain, but I really, really like the grain on this particular preset collection. I think Richard's done an amazing job. Halite 4 is going to become my new personality. Obsessed. I told you, that's my favorite. It's such a good preset. 4 and 5, I've been throwing on just about everything. Like 4 for the color, 5 for the black and white. So, so nice. Apologies for the sniffles, by the way. I'm a little bit under the weather. But it's all good. It's all good. It's exciting. I'm on the live stream. People are here. It's all good. Right, image number 2 we'll do next. Image number 6, I think 4 might have been picked. We'll figure it out. We'll go through them. Image 2, let's do that one next. So this one from Gail Secker. Gail's work is absolutely amazing. I love all of Gail's photos. So nice to work with as well. So I'm going to start by just doing a transform. Let's go for full. Just make sure things are looking nice and straight in the background. Somewhere around about there. And I might crop it a little bit actually. Yeah, that's looking good. Love this. What an incredible dress. Such nice textures, and the colors in the dress and the colors in the room there as well. I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit, and I'm probably going to do the lens correction. Yeah, that's going to help quite a bit just to straighten things out and get rid of the dark vignetting in the corners. And I think exposure is looking pretty good. Maybe a tiny little boost in warmth. And yeah, that's looking good. All right, Halite 1. Give it a second to render. Oh yeah, super nice. Love that tonality. Moody but editorial. Really, really nice. Halite 2. Oh, Halite 2. Very rich, very warm. Halite 3. I like the amount of contrast. It's kind of a little bit less contrasty with a bit more muted highlights. Halite 4. Very, very nice. And then the black and white's Halite 5 and Halite 6. So again, I think I would probably lean into 6 if I was going black and white, because I like the texture in the dress. But I think it's either going to be 3 or 1. And I'm tempted to go for 1 because I like the cool toning that we're getting from it. I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit more. Let's have a look at the Halite profile. I'm going to bring that up a nice amount as well, just to add a little bit more of that contrast in, and it's definitely complementing the skin tones nicely. Let's go ahead and zoom in. I'll show you the before and after. Obviously, a little bit of correction to the barrel distortion there as well, so you can see a little bit of movement. And if I show you this side by side, Love the texture in the dress here. Love what it's done with the color tones. Skin tones looking really nice. Again, massive fan of the grain, but of course, if you don't want that, you can just back that off, go for something a little bit more subtle. I would probably say if you want subtle, I'd go maybe about there, 24, 25, just kind of keep a little bit of texture there, but not quite as harsh as the default. But personally, I think that looks really nice set to the default. Let me show you the full screen. There's before and there's after. Absolutely stunning. That's with Halite 1. We've increased the profile and done a little bit of correction to the image in terms of the exposure, the white balance, and the lens corrections. Dang, this is incredible, says Aubrey. Thank you so much. So dreamy. Richard, this one is great. Yes, agreed. Oh, thank you, Mary. Appreciate the compliment about the edits. Paula says, obsessed. The editing and pictures are so on point. It's just the presets. It's not me. I'm just clicking the button. It's the presets. It's Richard. It's all him. All right, so we're flying through these now. Image number 6, I think, was picked next. Then we'll do 4, and then we'll just do 7 and 8. So if anyone's joined late, welcome to the stream. We are taking a look at Archipelago Halite, which is the next release from us. And if you are a Quest subscriber, we're actually going to be giving this to our Quest subscribers as December's preset release. So on the 1st of December, if you're a Quest member, you're going to be able to download Archipelago Halite as part of your membership as a free download. And then 2 weeks later, we'll be releasing it on archipelagopresets.com at the regular price of $98. So amazing time to become a Quest member if you're not already. And if you already are, you know all the amazing benefits of being a Quest member. And it's just going to get even better for December because we've got, like I said, the full Archipelago Halite preset collection coming to you for free as part of your membership. And not only that, we'll have something else, which has been hinted at already, which is to come a little bit later to our Quest subscribers, because it's December and, you know, it's the time of giving. So we thought, why not? Let's just give you all the good stuff. So Lauren's just thrown in there as well. Don't forget, it is our Black Friday sale, 40% off Archipelago presets using the code Black Friday 40. That's live for the until the 30th, actually. So the 30th, midnight PST. That's live. So you can take advantage of the discount, and our Quest members get a 50% discount on Archipelago presets. So you'll find on the homepage a code that will give you 50% off Archipelago presets during the Black Friday sale. So definitely take advantage of that. I can see some snowflakes in the chat. I don't know what that's all about. No idea. It's not snowing here. No, it's not snowing here, so I don't know what the relevance is of that. Juniper says, you all are too good to us. Richard says, Project Frosty. I honestly don't know what you mean, Richard. Not a clue. All right, image number 6. Let's dive into that. So another one from Gail here. This is a gorgeous photo. Like I said, Gail's photos are absolutely amazing. I love this one. Got the couple sat on a wall here. This nice glass house behind them. Super, super nice. I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit. I think somewhere around there. I think the exposure's looking pretty good. Sorry, the white balance. A little bit warmer, I think. And I think that's looking good. So let's take a look. Halite 1. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that warm toning that we're getting in the stonework. Love the skin tones. Love the contrast level. Halite 2. Ooh, that's definitely looking good on this one. Halite 2 is a little bit warmer, and I think that really suits this one. Gives that really nice, rich warmth, that moody vibe. Halite 3, looking very nice. Halite 4, always a favorite. Halite 5, looking really, really nice. The Halite 5 is a very, very classic looking, slightly nostalgic. It's kind of like a nice balance between nostalgic and modern. So Halite 5 is looking very nice here. And then the moody one, Halite 6, which takes a second to render. That's looking very, very nice as well. Now I've got to go for Halite 2 on this because it just looks so nice. I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit more, somewhere around there. Let's take a look at the profile. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at the default amount. I think 100 is looking really, really good. So again, let's zoom in, see the magic of the preset itself, what it's doing to the image. Absolutely amazing. Again, because it has the AI masks built in, it's applying a different effect to the background and to the subject. So there's a big transformation just with one click of the preset. And with this, it looks absolutely stunning. Again, that gorgeous grain that we're getting. There's before, there's after. Let me show you the side by side. Absolutely love that. So that's with Halite 2. I've left the profile at the default amount of 100. And I don't think there's anything else I'd do to this. Maybe I would use the dust and scratches. But I think it looks nice without. It's quite, not a busy background, but relatively busy. So you're not going to see the dust and scratches as obviously. But I think that looks super nice as it is. There's your side by side. Absolutely stunning. Probably referring to the future snow layover that will be released that was mentioned. Haha. I honestly don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where all this is coming from. Is there some rumors flying around? Who knows? The way I am immediately obsessed every time, says Juniper. Yes, that's what it's all about. They all look amazing, says Aubrey. All of these will go beautifully on this image. Can't wait to get photos that are as stunning as these. Yes, I agree. This is a gorgeous photo. Timeless image, says Sean. Rumors like snowflakes. All right, so let's go image number 4 next. This one's from Carlos Cordero. Love this. The red pop in the image is really nice with the red car and the little bit of lipstick there. I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit. Let's take a look at the white balance. I think maybe back it off a tiny little bit and a little bit more towards the green side. That's looking good. All right, Halite 1. Really nice. I love the way it darkens down the background, pops the subject out a nice amount as well. Halite 2. Halite 3. That's looking very, very nice actually. I might go for 3. Halite 4. 5. And 6. I've got to go for 3 on this, I think. I love this, the balance between the shadows and the highlights. Let's go ahead and play with the profile. I'm actually going to back the profile off. Maybe go down to about 10. So just a little hint of the profile. But I like this sort of less contrasty look, with slightly more cool toned. That's looking really, really nice. And I would, if this is my image, I would definitely use the dust and scratches, and I just bring them down using the amount slider just so they're nice and subtle, because I think it has a little bit of that vintage vibe. I would maybe just go into the dust and scratches and subtract with a brush, and then I can just remove that little bit there, and maybe that little bit there, and that little bit there. So super easy just to kind of remove any of the dust and scratches that are distracting. So if you want to remove them from your subject, you can kind of just go through and brush it. You could use the subject recognition and just do a layer that will remove it from the subject, but I find that having some on the subject makes it look a little bit more natural. Obviously, if this was, let's say, like a film image, the dust and scratches would be across the whole image, but of course we don't want it to be distracting on the face of the subject, so you can just go in and brush that out. So there is the before, and there's after, and that's with Halite 3. Backed profile off to 10 just to give a little bit more of a cool tone, reduce the punch, and get a nice balance between the shadows and the highlights, and then just finished it off with a little bit of the dust and scratches there, as you can see up at the top. Let me show you the side by side. Absolutely stunning. I really like how it's rendered the red as well. It's pushed it a little bit more towards the magenta side, which looks super nice on this. Agreed, 3 is perfect all around. 3, says Joey. I love what Halite does to reds. Yes, thank you, Sarah. She looks like a doll, says Juniper. Yes, definitely Wednesday Addams vibe for me with Halite 5. Yeah, that is a nice moody preset collection. So good, says Mitra. So filmy, says Chilina. Halite is goat, says Sean. Yes, it is. So again, there's before and there's after. All right, so we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 and 8 to do. Let's do 7 and 8. And then we'll see what all this snow business is about, shall we? All right, this one here from Denise Xenia Funke. This is a gorgeous photo. We've got this amazing classic car, this couple in nice complementary outfit, very minimalistic tones. I love the kind of perspective with the sort of, I'm guessing it's on a bridge. Love all this sort of heavy industrial metalwork behind them. I think the exposure is looking pretty good, maybe just a little tiny bit brighter. And I think the white balance, maybe just a tiny push of warmth, but nothing too drastic. So Halite 1, again, give it a second to render out. You can see how that does a really good job, actually. If you look at the background here of the raw file, you can see that there's not as much detail in the buildings behind. Obviously, the exposure's bang on for the subjects. But what's really nice with the Halite presets is because it uses the AI masks, it's going to darken down and bring a little bit more detail into the background there. So that's Halite 1, Halite 2, Halite 3, Halite 4, Halite 5, and Halite 6. Black and white, I would go 6. I think, again, it's just bringing the background down quite a lot. It's got that really nice kind of grittiness to it. So definitely Halite 6 if I was going for black and white. Let's have a look at the profile. Oh, yeah. I really like the way that that kind of crushes the shadows, gives that very filmic kind of look. I'd go somewhere around about there, 156. And I would, of course, use the dust and scratches. But in terms of color, this is going to be a tough one, I think, because they all look good. What's everyone saying? 3. I like 1 is my favorite. 5 looks good. 1, 3, 4. Yeah, there's no consensus. Everyone likes a different one. 3, I think a few people mentioned. Let's have a look at 3. 3 is very, very good. I think, again, with that sort of lower contrast, it's a really nice balance between the shadows. Obviously, with this, we've got deep shadows here and then very bright highlights there. So it's going to do a really good job of balancing that out. If I was going to use 3, I think I would just crank the profile all the way up. Give it that nice, rich warmth, add a little bit more contrast so we kind of still have shadows here. And yeah, of course, I'm going to do the dust and scratches to finish. Here's the before. Here's after. Let's go ahead and play around with the masks very quickly. Background, the amount. Yeah, really, really nice. You can see just how much that affects the image. I'm going to bring that up quite high, actually. That's going to give us a little bit of a softer look to the background. I think the subject is looking good. I can maybe bring it down a tiny bit for a bit of contrast on them. And then I can bring the overall exposure down for that nice moody look. There we go. So there's before and after. Quite an amazing transformation on that one. Super nice. Again, if you wanted to, obviously got the dust and scratches on here. Let's go subtract, brush, and we've got this big old scratch in the middle, which I love, but I'm going to remove it from this particular image just because it's a little bit distracting on the subjects and that little bit there. And that's looking super nice to me. Again, for me, the grain is also adding so much to this image. Absolutely love it. Love the detail in the buildings in the background. Yes, I feel like, you know, you've nailed a preset pack when every single one works this well on a single image. Yes, I agree. When it's hard to choose and there's no consensus in which one people like, that's a good sign, right? This is a very good set of presets. You're going to love it. You showed such a variety of images with all sorts of colors, and I love that. Thank you so much. All right, so final image. This one, again, from Gail. Couldn't resist having another one from Gail in this collection because they're all so beautiful. Let's just go ahead and straighten this up a little bit. Yeah, this is such a nice photo. I love all of this. I'm guessing it's some type of confetti. It looks so cool. I love the expression of the couple here as well. Exposure, I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy. I think that's looking okay as it is. And I think white balance is looking good. So Halite 1. Very, very nice. I love the kind of very neutral tonality that I'm getting from Halite 1. Kind of looks very true to the original scene. Halite 2, that extra push in warmth. That's looking very, very nice. That sort of glow in the background. As is Halite 3, which is a little bit more cooler toned, but still with that warmth in the background. Halite 4, I think it's got to be 4 on this. I love what I'm liking if I zoom in here. The reds of the lipstick, the skin tones, and then the orange of the warm lights in the background. All of that with Halite 4 looks so nice. All right, let's take a look at the black and whites. Halite 5. Oh yeah, that's looking very, very good. And then highlight 6. Yeah, I think I would go 5 if I was going black and white, but I think it's got to be color on this. It's just too nice. So highlight 4, and I'm going to crank the profile. I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit here, and I would maybe have a quick play around with the background. I'm going to bring that down a little bit just to bring a little bit more of the detail out in the background. I'm going to bring the subject amount down a little bit as well. And that's going to allow me then to bring the exposure up just a tiny touch. So there we go. This is before and after. And that's with highlight 4. That nice rich warmth. I love what it's done to the reds in the lipstick. I love the color toning in all of this wood and the warm lights in the background. The flowers look really nice. Skin tones looking incredible. What an amazing photo though. Absolutely gorgeous. This picture says Wendy, yes. So stunning. Gonna pre-vote for 4, says Juniper. There we go. They all look incredible, says Angie. Looks really good, says Mitra. Wow, that wood grain. Yes. Gorgeous. So again, this is before and this is after, and that's with highlight 4. We've cranked the profile all the way up to 200. In fact, I left it at 199, so let's go 200. And then we've just had a quick play around with the AI masks, which are applied as default as part of the preset. So there's before and there's after. Incredible. So that's all of those images edited with Halite. So hopefully that's a good insight into what's coming as part of Archipelago Halite. Like I said, if you're a Quest subscriber, expect to get your hands on this early on the 1st of December. This is going to be released on Quest for our members. So if you're already a member, on the 1st of December, wake up early, get hold of Halite, sorry, as your monthly release in December. But then what we're actually going to do is, like I said, we're going to release this preset collection on archipelagopresets.com a couple of weeks later. So if you're not a Quest member and you want to get hold of it, you can purchase it from archipelagopresets.com for $98. But if you're a Quest member, you pay $8 each month. This is the preset collection you're going to get in December. So you get to download this on the 1st of December. And obviously right now, you've got Wayfarer SE as this current month's preset collection. So if you sign up now, you can get Wayfarer SE and then get your hands on Halite as a nice little early Christmas gift. But not only that, for our Quest subscribers, we're going to be releasing something else a little bit later in December to people that are a Quest subscriber. And that is this rumored snow. So let me show you. Let's go onto this image here. I'm just going to shrink this down. You're going to see down here, we've got Quest Tools 05 Snowfall. And this is incredibly exciting. Chris has been working hard to make this dream a reality. And if you have loved things like the Mist tool that we've had previously as part of Quest, you're going to absolutely adore this. It's incredible. So this is Quest Tools 05 Snowfall. You get 3 Snowfall presets as part of this. The first one, which is just a snowflake, applies snow to your images using the AI masks. And then we have one that features snow and mist, and then one that features snow with less snow over the subject. So I'll show you in more detail in a moment. But the first one, let me show you that as a one click if I hover over the snow preset. Now, it will take a second to render, as you can see there, or a couple of seconds to render. It is quite a processor intensive effect, and I'll show you why. If I go ahead and apply this, so give it a second for it to render. There we go. Look at that. What an amazing transformation. So let me show you. This is before, and this is after, edited with Halite, and then the Quest Tools 05 Snowfall preset. How incredible is that? And let me show you why this is a little bit more of a processor intensive mask. If I jump into the mask layers here, you can see all of these masks have been hand drawn by Chris to create this very, very realistic emulation of snowfall in your images. So if I hover over, you can see all of those hand drawn in there to give this effect. There are tiny, tiny little particles. There are small particles, medium, large, extra large. It's a lot of work to create this, but also it's a little bit more work for your computer to render them. What we would basically recommend to do is do all of your edits, apply all the presets, get the image looking how you want, and then apply the snowfall as the last step. Just because when it's applied, it has all of these masks on there. It's obviously going to struggle then to render all of that if you then start to change presets and tweak the image, things like that. So definitely add this as a final step. But how incredible is that of a transformation? Again, if I just turn the masks off entirely, that's without, and that's with. Absolutely stunning. And of course, because we have the amount slider, you can dial this down or up, set the intensity. So I'm going to go for something a little bit more intense on this because we have that beautiful snowfall on the ground in the background. So it looks really, really realistic. We've got all those amazing particles up at the top here. You can see there's like really, really tiny ones, larger ones that are blurred. It's a masterpiece of work from Chris. So incredible job, Chris, pulling this together. So again, there's before, there's after. Let me show you the side by side. So like I said, this is coming as part of your Quest subscription later on in December. So if you are subscribed on the 1st of December, you're going to get Archipelago Halite as an incredible gift for your Quest membership in December. But then beyond that, a couple of weeks later, we're going to be giving you Snowfall, which is Quest Tools 05. So there you go. Lots and lots of excitement in the chat. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Whoa, love this. Yeah, lots and lots of appreciation for this. I'm literally editing my holiday minis right now. This would be so perfect. Well, there we go. So let me show you a little bit more with this set, and I'll kind of talk through the other two presets that are included with this as well. So let's go back to this image here from Gale. So again, I can go ahead and hover over the snow and take a look at what that looks like with this image. It doesn't matter whether it's a vertical image or a horizontal image, it's going to apply and look really, really nice. So for this one, we have obviously the regular snowfall, but then if I hover over the next one, this is snowfall with mist. So you can see the top of the frame gets that nice misty look to it. So an added bit of drama on top of the snowfall. So if we go ahead and select that, again, give it a second to render. There we go. And now we can jump into the mask panel and you can see there's a separate mist layer at the top here. So we can just jump in the mist layer, go to the amount, and we can just back that off and set that where I want. So maybe somewhere around there, just a little bit of that misty softness to the top of the frame. So again, this is before any edits. This is after with Halite and with Quest Tools 05 Snowfall. And this is the mist version. And then if we go ahead and zoom in, you can see the particles of snow over the subjects here. The third preset, which is a symbol of a little snowflake and a little smiling face. What this one essentially does is it removes the snow, the small particles of snow. So you can see these ones here. It's going to remove those from the subject. So I've selected that, takes a second to render, and now it's going to remove those small particles. It keeps the medium-sized ones like here and the larger ones still over the top of the subject, so it looks really realistic. But of course, if they were actually in the frame and it was snowing, the tiny little particles, which would be further away, they'll be behind the subject, and those larger ones that are a little bit more blurred would be in front of, so that mimics that. So you can go ahead and use that tool to, if you've got like a close-up portrait or anything where you don't want those tiny snowflakes over the top of the subject, you can just choose that. It's going to use the AI mask to figure out where the subject is and remove the tiny little flakes so it looks very realistic. And of course, because I selected the version with the mist first and applied that first, it's kept the mist at the top of the frame there. So I've still got that gorgeous mist, the amazing snowfall. And of course, from there, you can go ahead and increase or decrease like before. So if we go for something a little bit stronger looking like that, super, super nice. I mean, it works on so many images as well. Like obviously this one doesn't have any snow on the ground or anything, doesn't really even look, if we look at the raw file, doesn't even really look like a particularly cold day. There's like a bit of blue sky coming through by the looks of it there. But when you got the edit on and you applied the snowfall, it just looks so, so good. I've been using this on loads of stuff and it looks amazing. Super, super nice. Again, let me show you that side by side. Just look at that, so good. Seriously can't wait, says Lisa. It's winter session season right now and these are a game changer. Can't believe this. Wow, wow, wow. I think I'll use this on rain photos as well. Yeah, definitely. Yes, it will work really well on those. As Chris says, it's best for images with your subject close up. So basically, if you've got an image where your subjects are really close to the frame, that's where this works particularly well. Like I said, because the smaller snowflakes would fall behind the subject. So that's where this one works well. But on this one, I actually preferred it with that particular effect. All right, let's do this one as well. Again, with this particular image, you wouldn't necessarily expect to see snowfall based on the raw file, and of course the fact that we are undercover here, but it still looks really cool. I tried it on this image earlier and it still looks really, really nice. If I go for the regular version of snow, give that a second to render. Look at that, super nice. Again, for this, if I wanted to, I can back it off and have something a bit more subtle or something more dramatic. I'm gonna go somewhere around about there, I think. So about 77, so a little bit more subtle. And again, this is the before and after. And there's a side-by-side. Just adds so much depth and texture to the image. Incredibly nice. Christmas family shoot with this snow tool. Yes, so happy I could jump on to watch this. Amazing, Paula. Thank you so much for joining. No snow, no problem, says Sean. Yes, absolutely. One-click snow. What more do you want? Absolutely amazing. All right, so last image, let's do it on this one as well. This is definitely not an image that would have snow because it's inside, but because we've got this sort of like confetti that's already there in the image, we could use snow to sort of emphasize that confetti. So let's go ahead and do snow. Let's go for the snow with a person. So select that, give that a second for it to apply, and then again, there we go. This is it without, and then we can go ahead and increase or decrease that. Looks super good. If I jump into the particles, I'm gonna find the one. If you just hover over each of the little thumbnails here, you can see the particles. So for this one, if I select this and then subtract a brush and remove that large particle over the subject there, and that looks super nice. Just emphasizes the look of the confetti that's in the image already. Just adds that extra little pop, a bit more texture. And there's, again, the side-by-side before and after. Lots and lots of fun. So there we go. Janelle says, did I miss the giveaway, or is there a giveaway this time? There is a giveaway this time. We give away every time because we're just kind like that. But no, you have not missed it. It is happening at this point in time. So we've gone through, we've done the edits, we've seen Archipelago Halite. Like I said, as a reminder, this is coming to our Quest subscribers on the 1st of December. And then a couple of weeks later, it's going to get released on archipelagopresets.com at the regular price of $98. And then the Snowfall Quest Tools 05 Snowfall presets will be coming to Quest members later in December as another little gift to say thank you for being a Quest member. So there we have it. Our winners have been announced in the chat. The pre-release copy of Halite Presets are C.E. Hendry, Aubrey, and Brianna. Well done to all of you. Congratulations. You're all going to get your hands on a pre-release copy of Halite, so you can start editing with those straight away. Very, very exciting. Make sure you share your edits in the Archipelago Collective Facebook group so you can show off, get your bragging rights in, all that kind of good stuff. So drop us an email. You'll see the email in the chat there. Drop us an email. We'll get that sent over to you so you can start editing with those straight away. And for everyone else, like I said, 1st of December, if you are subscribed to Quest already, you're going to get your hands on Archipelago Halite. And then later on that month, you'll be able to get Quest Tools 05 Snowfall. And as one final reminder, our Black Friday sale is still live, so you've got a chance to take advantage of that. 40% off Archipelago presets with the code Black Friday 40. So if you haven't yet taken advantage, do so. You've got a couple of days left to take advantage of that. And if you're a Quest subscriber, instead of 40% off, you're going to get 50% off by using the code on the Quest members homepage. So definitely don't miss out. It's our biggest sale that we've ever done. Incredible. Get yourself something new that you can be reinvigorated, inspired with your work, and get money off at the same time. So Black Friday 40, get 40% off or 50% off if you're a Quest subscriber using the code on the Quest members homepage. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. Go and treat yourselves to some new presets, and then make sure you subscribe to Quest and go to the Quest members homepage on the 1st of December to get Archipelago Halite. Well, that's it from me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you again in the next one.